a GREENPOINT Williamsburg Public Affairs presentation. This is Neighborhoods Today. There is a growing concern over air and water pollution. In this edition of Health Update, Dr. Leon NADROWSKI is joined by Richard Fitzgerald for a candid discussion about these environmental hazards threatening our health.
There are many environmental and health hazards in our community of GREENPOINT and Williamsburg. Tonight we'd like to discuss some of those hazards, and with us we have a very prominent man who is active in our community and very active in trying to prevent some of these hazards. And we have Richard Fitzgerald. I'm sure you read, just like I had read, about how many plants we have, manufacturing plants that are health hazards. Could you just give us a little idea of how many we have and how we sort of are abused in our community more so than any community in the city?
Well, would you like me to first go into the plants or the...
First give the numbers of plants that are...
I'll give an example, Doctor. In the Williamsburg GREENPOINT area, we alone have 28 plants. 28 plants? 28. People don't realize this. And as I go on, I'll explain how they can get it.
What kind of plants?
28. Actually, 16 of these companies store fuel. Actual fuel. That's Mobil, Exxon, all of them. Another 12 in our community store hazardous waste. And people in GREENPOINT do not realize that these things are being stored in GREENPOINT, and it's all around us. It's surrounding us.
Potential hazards.
Potential hazards all around us. It's what I call a toxic time bomb. And I think that the shame of it is, and what I've checked into, is when you do go to these people and ask them what do they have in there and what prevention are they using, they say, and they're right sometimes, that they're within the law. We actually do not have laws on the book that completely protect us, because we have laws for old type of toxins, but not for the latest toxins. And because of this, they feel they're right in using it. Now, I want to read for an address, if I can. There is a Mr. Hinchy who put out a beautiful thing.
Is he assemblyman from upstate?
He belongs to the environmental group.
He's a committee chairman.
That's correct, of the environmental group. And people writing to him, and it's the Hunter College program that actually is, and you write to Hunter College at 425 East 25th Street, Box 596, 10010. Do it again, 425 East 25th Street, Box 596, New York, 10010. By writing here for $10, understand, you can get a complete report of all the places in GREENPOINT and Williamsburg that have these particular hazardous buildings. But by virtue of the fact that you live in GREENPOINT or Williamsburg, there's no charge. So if the people that are listening to us now would right away, they would get a map and it names every one of the 28, understand, that have these hazardous waste in GREENPOINT. And truly, these things sometime are going to go. You know, I went over the GREENPOINT bridge the other day, and there was a big thing going on there because they found some adhesives in a factory over there that they weren't even sure what was in those barrels. Now, this is what we run into all the time. And this is a big worry here. What are we sitting on? What kind of a cake are we sitting on?
How about the recent spills that we've had of gasoline and oil spills?
During February and March in 1990, we had two big spills. Mobil and Exxon were the cause of those spills. We had a spill of 35,000 gallons of kerosene. We also had a spill then of 17,000 gallons of utility oil. Now, Mobil was fined $100,000 for this. Exxon was not fined anything as of yet. Now, you
They were fined for the 35,000 gallons
That's
of gasoline.
correct. Yeah. That's all he was fined for.
Yeah, recently.
Recently, not for the rest of the spills that we've had prior to this. Now, in the past few years, we've had similar spills and many problems with the spills. Now, you know yourself, you've held several meetings to try and bring about the oil spillages and show where they are and try and have them brought out more quickly than they are being brought out. They're claiming it'll take 20 years to get it out.
What spill was that?
Oh, that's the big spill.
How many was that? How many gallons?
How many was that now?
That's 17 million.
17 million gallons,
And
am I correct?
they removed 3 million.
That's correct.
They still have 14 million
They only
ground.
removed 3 million. They claim it will take 20 years more to remove them. Your idea, which is correct, is to get more pumps in there,
Recovery wells
in there, get it out, and they only have 3 going now, 3 or 4 best. You need another 17 in there, let's say 20 or a little better, to bring them out in half the time. It's unconscionable to think that you and I, in this day and age, we can send somebody to the moon.
Yeah, we can't get
But
rid of the
we
spill.
can't get rid of the spills that's beneath us. That also, not only hazardous, but we can cause explosions with it.
Surely.
You just ran into problems that they're talking about where they want to do some drilling in the areas. You're worried, are they going to hit something? They tell you it's non-volatile, but it's always non-volatile until something happens. Then we have a problem. Now, these are the things that I think that Mobil and Exxon, and I think our federal government, I think our state government, I think that our Attorney General
should be with us
on this.
Yeah.
Get laws up to stop them and force them to do this properly. How long, how long are we going to be the cesspool and the toilet
bowl?
Well, toilet bowl of GREENPOINT.
Right.
Yeah, of the world.
Right.
How long are we going to do this?
Yeah. Dick, the spillage that we had in Alaska was only 11 million compared to what we have now.
That's correct.
And if we were to fine Mobil today, equivalent to what we just fined them for that 35,000 gallons
That's
that they
correct.
just spilled, we would have to charge them $40 million. $40 million for their spillage of 14 million
This is correct.
gallons. And I think that's something we have to consider very much so that we can get rid of that spillage as soon as possible. Richard, I'm very happy that you came on this program today, your excellent presentation, and some of the ways that you have to rectify some of the hazards that we do have. When it comes to incinerators, make sure we have recycling as a replacement and don't put any more incinerators up. And also when it comes to the water pollution plants, don't expand it. Let Manhattan expand its own and rectify whatever we have with our present one. And when it comes to the oil spillage, get after Mobil and Exxon to make sure they get rid of those spillages so that there's no hazard for us.
I'd like to say this, Doctor, if you don't mind.
Surely.
We have good, hard working people in GREENPOINT. They believe in the area that they're living in. It, as far as crime goes, is not as high as others because we still have hard working people here. They put their trust and their faith in their elected officials. They put their trust and their faith in leaders like yourself. And because they do put their trust and faith in it, I think they deserve far better at times than they do get. And this, between the oil, the incinerator, water pollution, this is not fair to them. And living under these conditions is not the greatest thing in the world. And I honestly think, I'm so pleased to be on here tonight to be able to tell you that I'm a GREENPOINTer, you know, and I believe that the people of GREENPOINT deserve far more than they're getting right now on these particular things.
I agree with you, Richard. I'd just like to end by saying that thanks for being with us. Thanks for updating us on what has been facing us with environmental and health hazards and their rectification. Excellent presentation, and thank you, and hope you'll be on a program soon again.
Make me a star, Doctor. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Good.
We would like to take this opportunity to offer Mobil Oil and Exxon an invitation to appear on our program to discuss their views on this issue.
And I will be back later with Mary Alvarez to discuss Sam Shepard, the playwright. Neighborhoods Today will continue in a moment.
Crime happens, but where it happens and who becomes the victim can be influenced by you and your community. As the eyes and ears of their neighborhoods, Block Watch programs assist police by reporting suspicious activity.
I'm witnessing a theft from a vehicle.
To learn more about crime prevention in your neighborhood, contact your local police department or the Block Watch Society of BC.
Now let's join Chef Ralph Lupoli at the kitchen of Fanciful Feastings to see what culinary treat he has to offer.
Welcome to Fanciful Feasting Caterers. I'm so glad you can come back and cook with us again. I've chosen a recipe tonight that will allow you to entertain a great number of people. The recipe is for a curry chicken salad with raisins and nuts. We use white raisins in this. And I'm going to give you the ingredients for 50 people. So you can get your pencil and paper and copy it. If you don't get it all, just write to us and we'll be delighted to send it to you. What we need is 16 cups of chicken. We need 5 cups of salted peanuts. We need a half a cup of salad oil. We need 3 to 4 tablespoons of curry powder. Now, 3 to 4 tablespoons, you can use more, less, depending upon your tastes. We need 2 cups of white wine, and always remember when you're cooking with wine, if you can't drink it, don't cook with it. We need 3 cups of raisins, and we need some mayonnaise. What I've done is I've poached chicken breasts, and what we do is put the chicken breasts in a pot, bring the water to a full rolling boil, put a cover on the pot, turn the heat off, put a cover on the pot, and let it sit for a fairly good hour, and you'll get a very nice, smooth chicken breast. You can see how nice and white that is and smooth it is. I personally prefer to break this up by hand and have big pieces. And as we're breaking it up, we put in the peanuts. Just mix it up. And that's basically what we're going to do. Now for the marinade, just give me a second while I get the pot hot. We use the oil, and we're actually cooking the curry. And I warned you in advance, your whole kitchen is going to be so fragrant, and all of your utensils will turn green. But believe me, this is so good. I created this many years ago for the Fashion Group, which is a group of fashion ladies, and I have never served this where someone has not asked me for the recipe. Okay? Now you let that cook up and you let the curry cook. I don't know if you know that curry is a combination of many, many spices. We take the wine, pour it in. I see that I've spilled some, but that's okay. And we take the white raisins and plump them up. Now that is the marinade. Let me just lower the heat here. Pour this over that. You'll have to excuse me, spoons are nice, but hands are so much better. You're in your kitchen alone, so don't really be concerned if you spilled something or whatever. When you're taking the chicken apart, be sure that you pull out all of the veins and the little nerves and all of that. Okay. What we need to do now is cover this. This has to sit and marinate for 24 hours in the refrigerator. So we just cover that, and if you remember it, go and give it a few stirs occasionally. Now let's put that in the refrigerator. clean up our table. Okay, we'll go to bed, get up and have breakfast, and we will take out our curried chicken, which has been marinating for 24 hours. And you can see that that is all beautifully green and fragrant, and it just smells so fabulous. And the raisins are plump and just beautiful. Now what we do is take some mayonnaise, and again, this is something that depends on you. If you like a lot of mayonnaise, put in a lot of mayonnaise. If you don't like a lot of mayonnaise, put in what you need to hold it together. And I usually start with a bit. Whoop. The bowls are too small, but you've all asked that we use glass bowls, and these are what I have, so we're experimenting. So, as I said before, spoons are nice, but hands are better. Now, for me, that is enough mayonnaise. Believe me, you will get such raves and compliments on this salad. And it's something that you can serve summer, winter, any time of the year. Now we'll take one of our beautiful Villeroy and Bach platters and which I've lined with lettuce. Forgive me, I'm having a little trouble tonight here holding everything. And we also have some very pretty radish roses, which we shall garnish with. I give you curry chicken salad with raisins and nuts. Very, very easy to prepare. You will be the smash hit of your neighborhood when you serve it. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you enjoy having wonderful parties. Thank you.
Next up, Angel Cappellino will be joined by her guest, Mary Alvarez, to explore the creativity of Sam Shepard, the playwright.
To many of us, Sam Shepard has become another male star of the silver screen, with such movie credits as The Right Stuff, Country, Baby Boom, Fools for Love. Well, his acting talent has been visible to us all. However, tonight we're going to discuss another side of Sam Shepard, and that is of the playwright. He is the winner of 5 Obie Awards, and is also the author of such renowned plays as Buried Child, of course, Fools for Love, and True West. And here with me to discuss the playwright and his many unique themes is Mary Alvarez. Mary is the co-founder of the PAM Repertory Company. She is also an independent director who just happens to be directing Sam Shepard's True West. Welcome, Mary.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Okay, Mary, so tell us, what is so appealing about Sam Shepard?
Well, what's so appealing about his plays is Sam Shepard, the man himself, and the way he's described himself. He's described himself as a cowboy, an actor, and a playwright. And in this particular play, True West, it has all those elements.
I'm familiar with many of his plays, and it's true. I mean, as you're watching them, you could always pick out a character and say, I bet that's Sam Shepard. So why don't we go into some of the recurring themes as viewers when we go to one of his plays, what we can look for?
Well, he basically has 3 recurring themes. He has the gaining or the losing of innocence. He also has the element of suspense through his writing, through his characters, and also he allows us to think.
Oh, yes. Okay, well, now I know, knowing that you are directing True West, let's use that as an example. Let's start with the first theme that we mentioned, which was Lost of Innocence. Where could we see that?
Right. In this particular play, you have two brothers, Austin, who's a writer, and Lee, who's a wanderer. He's a desert rat. And Austin is writing a love story, and the producer comes one day just to see how he's coming along with his writing. Well, the producer drops Austin's script, who's a writer, and takes Lee's suggestion as a Western. There, Austin loses his innocence.
Like it happens to us all. Okay, now, so why don't we go into the next one then? You mentioned suspense.
Well, you have suspense, but not just through the writing. You have suspense through the transformation of the characters. Because you never know exactly what the characters are up to. And that keeps us at the edge of our seats.
Oh, could you give us an example?
For example, Austin, who's this mild-mannered writer, wouldn't hurt a fly when we first see him, is transformed into this madman at the very end of the play because of his script being dropped. And his brother, who's this free-spirited human being, giving up his freedom and almost conforming to society.
Yes, and it seems to me that always through those character transformations, that as a viewer, you're always left, well, just say you're always left to make up your own ending. You know, how does it end?
Well, that's the beauty of Sam Shepard, because he forces the audience, directors, actors, everyone involved to think. For example, at the end, who's going to win? Is it Austin, who's emotionally, mentally able to kill, or is it Lee, who's physically a strong man and has no concern about who he kills or doesn't kill? It makes us think at the blackout, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
The curtain never goes down.
Okay, well, Mary, I want to thank you for coming and, well, bringing a little bit more understanding and hopefully a lot more enjoyment when we go to see a Sam Shepard play.
Thank you.
Hey, bud, what you doing?
I'm playing with cars.
Cars? Can you show me what a car does? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second. First of all, this is a school zone. So you need to put down your cell phone, stop texting, and let's get to driving. Now you're coming up to a stop sign, right? You need to slow down and stop before you hit that Y line. I want you to look left, right, left. You don't want to get hit by a car going on your left, and to your right to make sure you don't get sideswiped by a guy coming from your right. You're coming, you're coming, you're coming, and you see a crosswalk. You better slow your horses down, because the #1 rule of driving is always yield to pedestrians. Now stop, pull over, and you are done driving. Gosh, what do they teach you kids in school nowadays?
Now let's go to Greenpoint's 94th Precinct, where we'll be joining Officer Edward McCarthy for a few pointers on crime prevention and security precautions for your home.
Let's talk a little bit about your specialty, which happens to be break-ins. Could you elaborate just a little bit on what exactly that means and what it involves?
Well, when a person becomes a victim of a burglary in this neighborhood, either they call me or I will get them on the phone. I'll make an appointment with them and I'll conduct a security survey of their home and make recommendations as to how they can improve the level of security with different types of locks or different types of security devices.
Do you find that there is one certain type of lock, shall we say, or maybe I should even broaden that question a little and say there's one type of situation that seems to just kind of occur over and over again, for example, a certain type of break-in?
Yes, it's usually, if people in this neighborhood, you got to realize that most of the homes are old, they're over 100 years old, and the lock that was put on that door when the house was built, that's the lock that's still on their door. People never think of changing the locks on those doors. I'll give you an instance in here that we have a few locks on this display. This type of lock is what they call a spring lock, and it's easily lloyded either with a butter knife or a credit card. And most people in this neighborhood have this lock, and I usually recommend that they discard this lock and get what we call the vertical dead drop bolt lock, which has a cylinder with an angle iron on it. And when this is closed, the lock drops down into the cylinder and it can't be voided as this one can here. We have another lock here which is called the buttress lock. And this is a deadbolt lock, and if anybody has this in their door, it should have at least a 1-inch protrusion into the striker. In most cases, we find that somebody will come to a senior citizen's door, and when they're not looking or they'll distract them, they'll stuff something into the cylinder. And when the woman closes the door and locks it, she thinks the lock is closed in, but whatever they put into the cylinder will stop the lock, and then they'll come into the apartment.
I'm wondering about that rubber band up there, what that might be for.
That's in the summertime, most of our senior citizens who don't have air conditioners, what they do is they put the chain lock on the door here. They open the door to get the cool air coming from the hallway.
Right.
Then they go in and watch their favorite soap. And we had a burglar here who used to come around, look for a door like this, reach in, put a tack on the door, put the rubber band on the lock, and when he closed the lock, he's in the apartment without making any noise whatsoever.
That's incredible.
It is, but it's been done.
That's it for this edition. For Neighborhoods Today, I'm Dick Mahan. Thank you for watching.